Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome back to the Sports Desk Live. We're very excited for tonight's show. We are going to have a great time. But before I get started, man, just hopefully everyone had a great holiday. Hopefully everyone is doing well. During the holiday season, it can be very busy, not only for you guys, but for us as well. So me and my friend Ross, we were able to get together and talk about the year that it was in wrestling in 2023. I've already kind of introduced them already, so introduce yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I am known on YouTube as TLTG Reviews, but I am also Dedrick's #1 fan, tag team partner, and we are both the next challengers for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship.
Yes. We're
WrestleMania Night 1. It's going to be us.
We are coming for the titles.
Coming.
Whoever has them, give them up. Give them up. Well, how you doing, man? How was your holiday? How's everything going for you?
Blessed, man. And I know that's kind of, people overuse that term, but it's the truth. Blessed, man. I have a great lifestyle. It was a great holiday season. Can't complain. Good time with family. Great food.
Yeah.
You know, nice little break. Recorded ahead for content. Even though I was editing every night while I was there, it was, no getting in front of the camera aside from doing the random shorts videos every day. But it was kind of for me what taking a break would be, I guess.
No, I feel you.
Still doing stuff, but not as much.
Yep. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, man. Okay, 10-4. Well, we're going to go ahead and dive into it. Thank you for everybody who's watching us live right now. Please feel free. Welcome to the Sports Desk Live.
Right now.
Drop any comments, any thoughts. If you disagree with us, you agree with us, we're looking for a good time tonight. So please do not hesitate to let us know how you feel about the content and the topics that are at hand for tonight's show. All right. So if you haven't subscribed and you are on the fence, that's cool. Watch this whole stream and maybe you'll be convinced to rock with the Sports Desk Live in 2024. We will be more consistent, more variety, more shows, more everything in the world of sports. We got this thing kicked off back in September. Got us a formula now, and we're ready to get started in 2024. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm gonna turn this music on the way down. Let's go ahead, man. And me and you, big time wrestling fans. We grew up watching it. We still watch it. Loyal to the. I seen somebody say it's in the opera. Say wrestling.
Let's go with the craft. I like to because it is a craft. It is an art. Skill. It is a trade and art form for sure.
Definitely is for sure. So Ross, man, let's go ahead and kick it off. What would you overall rate this year in wrestling? Just everything. We're talking everything possible that you can remember because it's a lot. In 2023, what would be your rating for this year in wrestling?
The best year in wrestling since 1999.
That is very descriptive.
Because that is the peak of the Attitude Era was 1999.
Yeah.
That was the peak. 2000 was when the slight trickle started and WCW was falling. Before it took them 1 year because Vince Russo went in and started wrecking creative and they were all over the place, standards and practices. You remember when WCW faltered over the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And Vince McMahon bought it for pennies on the dollar just to have the trademarks in the library, basically. Because I know 4 million sounds like 4 million, but when you look at what was bought, that's pennies on the dollar for the value.
Yeah,
the long-term value of what he bought.
Amazing investment.
Yeah, the library alone, Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's the best year we've had. I think Triple H taking the lead in creative and AEW trying to play not only keep up, but try to get their own path, the kind of rebirth efforts of Impact Wrestling into TNA, the indie scene being so much stronger with so many big names hitting these indie bookings and social media kind of helping propel that. There's just, more forbidden door stuff of people working with one another. I think it has really set us up for a phenomenal lead into 2024. I think 2023 is the best year we've had since 1999. I know that was long-winded, but
no.
I clear on why I say that because I think saying the best since 99 is about as powerful a statement as I could have made.
It feels like old times.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like old times, especially the era that I grew up in, the era where I was really marking out due to the wrestling scene in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002, 2003, when everything from storylines to stables to surprises to oh man, we didn't expect that. Just a lot of different things that transpired over 2023. Just was so exciting. I definitely give it a 10 out of a 10 this year. Really preparing for this show over the past couple of days, I had to be reminded of some of the things that I forgot. That's how great this year was. So as a wrestling fan, we've been thirsting for this. We've been hungry for times like this. And I'm so excited. I know I can speak for Ross and everybody else who's in love with the art form and the craftsmanship of what the world of wrestling brings, man. We are happy. We are happy. And going into 2024, I can just only imagine what we are going to get, man. So I give it a 10 out of a 10.
It's going to be, I mean, I love how you mentioned stables. It was the rebirth of the stable.
Yep.
And we had somebody in one of our recent podcasts mention that it's lazy booking.
Yep.
In a way, in the modern era, it's brilliant booking because it gives deep rosters an opportunity to be featured in storylines, no matter how small the part is. They have something to do instead of just hanging out and catering.
Yep. Yeah, we got a comment here, man, from my guy. I think it's Visigoth Rain. I'm sorry if I'm
Gothic Rain. Gothic Rain.
Thank God that Ross is here. Gothic Rain. The competition has made all promotions step up their game. I agree. I believe that was a lot of elements with all the different NXT and AEW and WWE and just
NXT's worth watching now all the time. Like it's back to what it was when Triple H was running it.
Yeah, the conversations too, like a lot of conversations, the mini podcasts, all the YouTube shows. We're just
Wrestling's never been more interesting than it is right now. Since social media era began, it's never been more interesting.
And I love the fact that we can go behind the scenes so often. We can get these exclusive interviews or sound bites or in the moment type of things just on the spot, especially after these pay-per-views are wrapping up. And Lord knows we can go back and document the CM Punk situation at AEW, like how that was in real time. We're getting these moments in real time. That's an added bonus that we get in the world of wrestling is the real-time drama.
The CM Punk effect's unreal. I mentioned it earlier because Omos popped in the chat earlier, and I was like, yeah, the house show for MSG got so much spotlight yesterday because it was Punk's first match.
Yep.
In WWE, and Omos had a match on the card is why I brought that up. So it was just, man, it's everything's to the point to where they have you so engaged that you don't want to miss anything. You don't want to miss PLE. You don't want to miss an AEW pay-per-view. Yep. It's just everything's can't miss at this point because there's so much to be involved in from storytelling aspects.
It's amazing. Before we get started, man, I definitely want to take the time to remember this giant, this legend, beyond a superstar before we really get rolling in things. I don't think me and Ross ever talked about this particular thing. Me and him, we've seen, I've seen different comments from him, but here we go. I definitely want to take the time to remember the late, the great, innovative, creative, charismatic, so much. He's like a science. He was a science, and the way he was able to maneuver just throughout his entire career. Definitely want to take this time to remember the late, great. When I say great, I mean great. Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, man. Ross, let's talk a little bit about him. I got to pay my respects, take my hat off as well. Let's talk a little bit about Bray Wyatt, his career, what he meant to you, what you remembered, and how you will remember the great Bray Wyatt.
I think he had a real opportunity to be the modern era's take on the Undertaker's gimmick.
Yeah.
That was kind of what he was being bestowed upon early in his gimmick with the Bray Wyatt, get the Wyatt family and everything. Mm-hmm. And just a very creative mind. Mm-hmm. I understand they want to make their sponsor money, but I hate that his last match was the LA Knight match, the Mountain Dew, whatever, blackout match with the botch spot with Uncle Howdy. It's just before LA Knight was really getting his push. Like I bet that bothers LA Knight too. Like, damn, we could have done so much better. I hate that that's his last match, and it was with me, and that's how it's going to be remembered. Obviously, it's not the full body of work; it's just the last memory in ring. So I really wish it would have been a better send off if I mean, how do you know it's the
How do you
last
know?
match?
How do
But
you
it
know?
was such a crappy gimmick match that didn't go over well. And there was just so much potential for what was coming with his creative lane that they were giving him an opportunity to go down, because Vince McMahon was really shackled a lot of people creatively. And Triple H is giving personalities opportunity to flourish, which is why Triple H is like wrestling's savior in the last year.
He is, man. He
really is. And I mean, hell, he brought back people that weren't getting, like Bray Wyatt. Wyndham Rotunda got fired. He got released.
Yeah.
And he was getting brought back into the fold. And we were really seeing some excitement from this, you know, the split personality aspect of the gimmick they were given, where I'm a babyface. Bray Wyatt's a babyface, but there's that dark side that comes out. You know, I really think it was a unique character and unique gimmick that only he could really pull off and make people get behind, because he was over as could be in this last effort. And I think the mark is indelible that he did make, because a lot of great careers were spawned out of storylines with him over the last decade that he's been around.
Yeah.
Gone way too soon, man. Way too soon. What a great mind for the business.
He's got
reinvented Alexa Bliss.
In his hands, he's got the whole world. In his hands, he's got the whole world. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. I'll never forget that moment at Mania when he had the whole stadium singing that with the before we knew the Firefly, the lights from the cell phones light in the sky. And I said, wow, I can never recall Austin, Rock, Hogan, anybody of that nature, of any high, Shawn Michaels. I can never recall a moment where I felt like the world stood still for him. I never could recall that. And it gave me, I got goosebumps right now just reminiscing. I went and watched it 2 days ago because I was preparing for the show and I want to just feel it one more time. And it feels the same. And it still feels like he's not gone, but he is. And the impact on me as a creative, when he got the ability to have no limits and do what he did, and the John Cena WrestleMania match when COVID was going on, brilliant.
I thought it was brilliant. The cinematics.
Brilliant.
That was the best match of that Mania because of what they did, the whole psychology of it.
It's amazing. The Muscle Man. I love the Muscle Man.
The NWO gimmick was brought into it.
Amazing.
Oh, so
I can't believe that it was actually produced in this
under
time.
Vince McMahon too.
Yeah, in this time.
Let that happen.
He was such a phenomenal mind. And for him to get the opportunity that many didn't get the opportunity that he got to really push the pace and let this character be what it ultimately became. I'm just so very grateful that I was able to witness it in the moment, week after week, the different feuds. He brought the best out of his adversaries when he were going. I just, so much I can sit here. Feud. Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Everything. Randy Orton's best work.
Amazing, man. And this man will be truly and sorely missed. Prayers out to his lovely family, his children, his wife. It's just,
how about JoJo posting that Christmas Without Bray photo with his picture over the fireplace stuff? Oh man, that tore
ripped me, man. It ripped me good, man.
Yeah.
It tugged at me tough. So he was one of the ones that I remember down the line. The same way it touched me when Owen Hart passed, Eddie Guerrero passed. There's certain moments in wrestling where you feel it. You feel it. And I felt it when Bray Wyatt passed. So we can sit here and talk about him for hours because his impact was just that great. And when I say great, I don't use that word loosely.
Yeah.
So definitely wanted to take some time to show love to the late, the great Bray Wyatt. May he rest in peace and may his legacy live forever. Forever. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt.
Indeed.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and pick up the pace. Let's get into it. Ross, let's jump right into it, man. Top moments of the year. Where do you want to begin, my friend? Give me anything. Give me everything. What you got? Top moments of the year.
I mean, we got to go with the most recent, the hell freezing over. I'm glad they made a shirt from it. I had to eat some words because I thought there's no way. This is proof that no matter what happens, you can go back to WWE at some point. CM Punk returning to WWE. That is the one person I knew eventually Bret Hart would end up back there. And they screwed that man for real. Ruined him mentally. He was never the same after that. I always knew eventually he would be back and getting the Hall of Fame. But Phil Brooks, no way, no how. They fired that man on his wedding day. He went on a 10-year burying WWE tour a year ago. In a promo with MJF was running. Who's number one? You? No, you'll never be number one unless Tony Khan has a daughter and you marry her. Like constant shots at Triple H, even till 6 to 8 months ago. There's no way he could go back. That's why I was like, no, y'all can hope all you want. It ain't happening. And it happened. You got to give it the top moment. Yeah. Like not just top moments. Like it's got to be the top because it's the most unrealistic, unlikely event to happen.
I agree. I have that as my number one, just no question, no brainer moment. It still feels surreal when you hear the twitching of the music in Chicago at Survivor Series, where me and you did a show and we were going back and forth. We don't know.
I'm like, it could, but I just don't see it,
And then when it happened, it was literally a mark out moment where everything stops and you see Seth Rollins participating in the way that he was with the energy that he gave.
Oh, he went to work. He doesn't really like him, but he also sees dollar signs too.
It was a surreal moment. And I was so happy for those people in Chicago who got that, because it just mattered even more that it was in Chicago. So yeah, I agree with you. We had a lot of things, in my opinion, kind of that were kind of teetering for my moments of the year. I'm gonna name a couple of them here. How about Edge appearing on AEW TV this year?
That was a great introduction because I was watching the pay-per-view. I've only missed one AEW pay-per-view in the history of the company. And it was because I literally was out of state and I was busy and couldn't.
Right.
But that was a great moment. It was great to see Adam Copeland. The only thing I wish would be a little different if it wasn't literally insert Edge gimmick and change name slightly.
Yeah,
he's still the superstar, same music. It's just the Edge gimmick in AEW, so there's no difference to it. So that's a little disappointing, but it's still a big moment that somebody that big could show up there. Because I think that was a bigger moment than Bryan Danielson showing up, honestly, because it was so less likely because he's such a WWE guy. Because Bryan Danielson made his name on the independents prior.
Right. Yeah. Well, it was such a short amount of time for Edge. It was a short amount of time from his last appearance on WWE TV on SmackDown versus Sheamus, his farewell match. They didn't want to call it that, but his farewell match.
It totally was.
Well, the writing was really on the wall. Something was going on. He addressed it on his Instagram and was talking outside on his front porch, sipping some coffee. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. This is weird that he's having to address certain things.
They didn't want to put him on TV anymore, I think is what it was. They're like, it's time for you to step to the side. And he's like, no, I'm back. I'm going to wrestle till I'm done.
Right. So I think the lead up to it was kind of weird, but I'm not going to lie. When I saw him and I marked out,
I was so excited.
Yeah, AEW TV. I was like, wow, he's really on AEW. Like, this dude is a WWE lifer, and he really crossed over. So I thought that was a monumental moment in the world of wrestling this year as well. Let's go to some action-packed things that were big moments this year. Things that happened during matches, things that happened with storylines in these organizations. I'll kick it off here. The Jey Uso promo. When him and Jimmy on SmackDown, and Reigns is standing behind him and he's laughing, he's holding the title, and Jay's ripping Jimmy a new one, telling him prom king and captain of the football team, and I'm like,
line of the year.
I'm thinking in my mind, I said, oh man, he's really about to dump out his brother and side with Reigns and continue on as being the right hand man. And it was
the right hand man. I'm main event Jey Uso. It was so good.
It was so good. It was so good. And Jimmy was selling it. He got his head down. He's on the dumps. And then he says, if you're out, he says, you're out.
And I'm out too.
And I'm out too.
Boom,
I said, oh my God, on SmackDown? Never would have thought that a moment like that would happen on SmackDown. Those usually happen on pay-per-views.
That was
Like,
sports
excuse me,
entertainment at its
Premium Live,
finest right there.
Premium Live.
Yeah, Premium Live event, PLE. But that was sports entertainment at its finest right there. That was
Beautiful.
great because it was engaging drama.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I loved it. Just looking back at it, like, wow, this was a top tier moment. And last but not least for me, Backlash in Puerto Rico. Bad Bunny's entrance.
Bad Bunny's. I watched it like 5-6 times last night. It's funny.
It's incredible.
Because I was watching Raw for top moments of the year, and it came up, and I was like, man, I went to Peacock, and I'm like, let me go actually watch it.
It's incredible. It was an incredible moment for Puerto Rico, for the WWE, for Bad Bunny. Now, did it feel to me? It felt like those old ECW pops, like in those small arenas.
Look at Savio Vega getting a pop like that. Whoever gave a shit about Savio Vega? He was like an icon for that night.
Yeah, man.
Carlito got a Stone Cold pop.
He did.
Okay.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
God. Puerto Rico has got to be the hottest wrestling crowd on the planet.
They were sizzling.
They had Zelina Vega crying in the ring.
Yes. You know what I mean? In the ring. Yeah.
That crowd made that show.
Awesome.
Shout out to Puerto Rico.
And
Vega Baja, Puerto Rico showed up.
When you go back and you see Bad Bunny when it comes around, the crowd literally word for word singing his music. You can see the people moving. Like the energy was like people were just, I was like, look at this.
So dope.
It was amazing.
The crowd was the show.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was the best crowd I think I've ever seen.
That and Cardiff. When they went to Cardiff.
Cardiff was a close second, but I think Puerto Rico is still the top crowd I've ever seen on screen.
I'm with you.
Like
Puerto Rico
there must have been like electric, I think is an understatement for how it was in that arena.
Oh, your eardrums have to be out of here.
Oh, none of them could talk the next day.
Your eardrums have to be out of here.
Yeah.
Let's go to the comments, man. We had a couple comments take place while we were discussing Bray Wyatt and discussing some of our top moments. Attention Span says that was me who said
that. Okay.
That it was lazy. I just want some of the other guys developed. I don't want guys to be a passenger. Montez is being wasted. The rest of Imperium is being wasted. I understand, though. What's your thoughts on that, Ross?
So my thoughts are the alternative is they could not be on TV. You got to keep that in mind. That's my argument for there's a benefit to the stables because if they're not involved with a leader of the pack, they're not going to be on TV because they're not the big players that are in the storylines heavily featured.
Right.
So I understand what you mean by it's a waste for them, but it's less wasteful than them watching the show backstage.
Yep. And not seeing them at all
in front of you at all times, and they'll have their moments. But I get it. I agree. Montez Ford is being underutilized. It's Sheldon Benjamin all over again.
It's sad. Immensely
talented and athletic. And being underutilized. I think a heel faction of Bianca turning heel with the Street Profits would be phenomenal. I would love that. Not this Bobby Lashley thing. I love Bobby Lashley. I don't think that's the move for the Street Profits. I think a heel turn with Bianca, because Super Bianca, it's time for that to die. It's time for a change for Bianca. No more superhero Bianca. Let's get Bad Girl Bianca.
That's a
like
tough
NXT
one.
Bianca. Let's get her.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. See, I think that would be great booking for them. And they could be the muscle behind the superstar that is her, but they could be so prominently featured because they're the muscle.
Sure.
So I think that'd be better for him. What do you think about that booking, Terrence? Because I agree, Montez is underutilized. I think that specific situation is what makes you feel that way about stables because you're watching one of your favorites get underutilized.
It seemed for a while that Montez was on his way to singles competition. It seemed for a while that he was on his way to his own little development. And I thought he was going to turn on Dawkins.
That was what everybody was thinking.
Early in the year, I thought he was going to turn on Dawkins, and I think he was going to elevate himself because the talent's there. And look, he has charisma. The guy looks good. So when you put him in front of a camera, it works, you know. But there's something there, obviously, backstage or with creative, where they don't think that he's ready. So hopefully that, you know, not only Montez, but the Street Profits, maybe something can brew in 2024. You're gonna have to hit me with this again. Vizzy Gothic Rain. There it is. He says Bray was such a great promo. Absolutely. Span, I miss Bray. He was the best storyteller that I have ever seen. Man, really that is very, very, very true. Very high praise.
Well, he's one of those less is more talents where he doesn't need all the high spots. to make you feel a match.
And if you think about it, he never. When was he the main event if he didn't have a title?
Never.
He never was the main event.
Not once.
That's how good he was.
Yep.
Because a lot of people were watching those pay-per-views. The Firefly Funhouse spots. I don't know if y'all see my name right here.
Oh, he's the king of the vignette.
Member
of the Firefly
Funhouse. So
yeah, he was the king of the vignette.
He killed it for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more. If the Ultimate Warrior could do it, if Bret Hart could do it, anything is possible.
But I still would have never thought that's the one. That's the one that I thought it's no chance. There's no way. They literally hate each other. And then when Triple H took over, it's like, oh yeah, that ain't happening. Vince McMahon was the only chance. No.
For sure. Savio Vega was a big deal in 95, 96. Yes,
he was never over to the point to where when he comes back 20 years later, he gets that kind of pop. It's because they were in Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? So, but my point is, they're so hot for their people. You know what I mean? Like if you,
almost blood in, blood out.
They're gonna make you feel like Stone Cold, The Rock, Hulk Hogan. You are what matters to them. I love how Puerto Rico reps for Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? You can't help but respect that, man.
Oh, of course.
That's why I say hottest crowd of all time.
Great night. You
know.
Tinge Span says I agree with your statement. Will said Ross. He also says
Makes sense, right?
Bianca versus Jade is going to be must see.
We'll see Jade at the Rumble.
Well, with Charlotte going out with the knee surgery, she's going to be out 6 to 9 months. I think that the booking may swing towards Bianca versus Jade. I wasn't leaning towards that. I was leaning between Jade getting a shot at Charlotte and really building her up. But I think with Charlotte being out, I think you got to kind of skip a step here. But we'll see. We got the Rumble coming up. It's going to be very interesting.
So in the Rumbles where they're going to meet up, and there's going to be the big, bad, strong bitch battle in the Rumble.
Here's the thing. Bianca ain't the champion. So do you do Jade and Bianca without a title? Do somehow Bianca get the belt back before Mania? Like what? The build-up's going to be nice here because it's a truly blank canvas. It's a blank canvas right now.
So you have to put Jade Cargill in you've built her as high profile from the moment you signed her.
Yeah.
So you have to put her in high profile matches, but you can't put her in the title picture yet. Not for a while.
Not even at Mania?
What's higher profile than Super Bianca sitting right there, who has a athletic, similar, strong style that is a real pro. And in the event that greenhorn side of Jade comes out, Bianca can handle it. She's a real seasoned pro, elite level pro at this. I think it would be a brilliant first real rivalry for her that they could build to and have more than one match out of. And I think that's the ideal way to bring her in because you can't keep letting her sit out of people's minds. You need to have her show up in the Rumble, and you need to have their first meeting a brief butting of heads, just a little flash to get people excited about the potential, and let it kind of build from there. That's what I would do. I think it would be a good move to bring her into the fold.
I kind of think they're in a position as well for booking purposes for star power at Mania. Don't get me wrong. You got Becky there. You got Bianca there. You got Bayley. You have the potential return of a so-and-so. We'll talk about her later on, I'm sure, in the show.
I just bought one of her shirts. I'm wearing that to Mania.
There's a potential.
I changed my mind. I'm not wearing my Cody Rhodes shirt. I'm totally wearing her shirt.
We're going to talk about who her is in a little bit.
Oh, because that's who I'm there for. I'm there to see her more than to see Cody or Punk win the Rumble.
So it's.
I'm so excited.
I'm curious what they're going to do with Jade. I think it's wide open what they could do for her. I agree with you. You don't have to force her into the title picture. You can set her up and let her go on a run in time for SummerSlam, maybe, and she can get set up for a potential title shot there. But I'm curious what her doorway is going to be, because if you start off with Super Bianca, I mean, like, come on. Does she beat her? Does she lose?
Well, she's got to beat her.
That's
you
what I'm
give
saying.
Jade a strong showing. Because Jade can't come out and beat her unless it's a surprise quick win.
I don't think Bianca gets beat like that.
I don't think so either. I think she has to have a strong showing where it's a respect, like, oh, you are the real deal.
Sure. Yeah.
Kind of thing. The nod. You know what I mean?
It's going to be interesting for sure.
That's how I would book it personally. And you build to more, because there's more that can come from that. That's not a one-off.
Let's see. Attention Span says they seem to be keeping the belts off Bianca and Becky. Women division stories need to be progressed. Yeah, I agree. And they have
been non-title big stories in the women's division because the elite of the elite in the industry are there. There's a few missing names.
They're there.
But the majority of the best women in the business are in the WWE.
They're there. They're there.
New Japan's got their share. Nobody books women the way TNA does.
Right.
AEW needs to learn some lessons.
They do.
They really do. But you see a lot more botches in AEW with the women. So it's like they need to step up a little bit too when they get their opportunities. They're not
WWE's a creme de la creme
because they botch a lot of things.
They're the creme de la creme. They're the creme de la creme.
WWE, it is when it comes to featuring women with the elite performing women. It's WWE.
Mercedes. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that's what Ross. We'll see if Ross is that's what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. All right, man. Let's go ahead and move along.
Pop like a little girl when her music hits because I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan of her. She is so good.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. All right, Ross. Let's get into top performer. When I say performer, I'm not just saying what they did in the ring. When I say performer, I mean overall, cutting promos, backstage, just everything in general. Who is or who are some of your top performers of the year?
Well, I assume that was your definition when I looked at the breakdown of how the show was going to go. Performance, overall performance is Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
MGF.
From on the mic to segments in the back to comedy skits to comedic spots in matches to serious spots in matches to storytelling and psychology to emotion.
Great year.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Great year. Absolutely. He's up there on my list.
I'm curious what else you got.
I have three actually. Three. I want to give some love to Rhea Ripley this year. The evolution of her character from January till today, she developed into a mega star.
Mm-hmm.
Go back
She's
at the beginning.
Woman in the business.
She's pound for pound top 5 attractions in all of wrestling, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about everything.
And they're underutilizing her matches.
They are.
She's getting fed bullshit.
Now she is.
Like nothing against Ivy Nile. She's not ready for that picture. This is just easy matches to hold her over till Mania.
Well, I think this is the time of year for her to get out of the boys' business, so to speak, with Judgment Day. And then she's going to have some business of her own. Coming up soon. There's some very nice, I take that back. There's some very nice, worthy adversaries for her to build up into Mania. So I'm going to be very interested to see what they do. But performer, her mic skills, the storytelling, her relationship with Dom, just her when she was engaging in spats with different women in the division.
Her social media presence, that plays into it.
Fantastic. She's built it. Working out.
Everybody's simping for mommy. That's the thing now. You know what I mean?
That was next on my list. The mommy factor.
The mommy gimmick, man.
It's real.
Oh my God.
I love it.
It's such a good move for her character. Holy crap.
She's done a phenomenal job in every which way possible to develop herself into the megastar that she is. So she's on my list as well with MGF. Also on my list, I believe Jey Uso had a great year. I think he's a good honorable mention. I don't think you can put him in the same just an opinion. I don't think he garners the kind of praise we just gave MJF and Rhea Ripley. Okay.
But it's a breakout year for him for sure. I think if we're breakout of the year.
Okay, I agree with that.
It's clearly Jey Uso for breakout of the year.
Well, when you look at his aesthetic, being with his brother in the tag team for many, many years, and for his character to evolve the way that it did throughout this bloodline storyline. Yeah. And I know we're talking 2023, but this bloodline storyline has been going on for 2 years?
2.5.
2.5 years.
Almost three. It was literally right after Roman grabbed the title, it started.
It started that next week.
Contract with Paul at the top of the ramp.
Started that next week,
during lockdown, and he went down there and won the title. Mm-hmm. And that's when him and Jay started. Jimmy went on the shelf. And then Jay's got to do something. Well, let me work with my cousin because you know how they control their own booking for the most part. Paul Heyman and Roman.
Yes, they do.
Let me elevate my cousin. Now's the time. And it worked. Look at where he's at now.
He had a great year. He had a great year. So I agree with you. Honorable mention, maybe breakout performer of the year was Jey Uso.
If we had, I don't think we have that category, do we?
No, we don't. Well,
let's say here and now, Jey Uso is a breakout performer of the year.
Yeah, breakout performer of the year. I thought he had a phenomenal year for sure.
Yeah,
so
he did.
Those are some three, four different names that we named. They have some really great stuff. Let's go down to the comments. The stuff with Adam Cole was priceless. Yeah,
fun stuff, man.
Very funny. I can't wait to see who's the devil.
Kyle O'Reilly. I've been saying it for months. It's Kyle O'Reilly. It's a returning Kyle O'Reilly with Roderick Strong in the Kingdom.
I can't wait to see
in the Kingdom or the goons, the main three goons, but Kyle O'Reilly is the devil. Why?
I can't wait to see who it is. I can't wait. He also says Rhea versus Jade in the future. Rhea versus Jade.
That's
in the future.
That's in the future. I think the athleticism of Bianca is a good way to feature the athleticism of Jade. That's why I think it's just the perfect first big program for her.
I agree. I
don't think you bring Jade in and have her squash some undercard girls. I don't think you do that. You did that in AEW. No. That's big time now.
That's not the era that we're in. That's not the era that she's in. She's not in that era. All right, let's go ahead and move down, man. We have some incredible matches this year in 2023. Some big time moments. We already discussed Puerto Rico at Backlash in Puerto Rico. We'll have some great moments there, but let's get down to in the ring. True work of art is held between those four corners. Ross, what are some of your matches or your match of the year?
I got two that stand out that I go back and forth between.
Okay.
I got Bryan Danielson and MJF. And then I got Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay 1 at Wrestle Kingdom.
I saw that online after it happened.
Oh, I watched it live. I stayed up late and watched. I watched Wrestle Kingdom. Like, I'm going to watch Bryan Danielson. I watched his interview. I was literally, when you text me, I was watching Bryan Danielson's interview on New Japan's YouTube page.
Okay.
They put it out like an hour ago. Because I don't watch a ton of New Japan, but I watched all of Mercedes Moné's stuff. Sure. And I watch Wrestle Kingdom every year. And because it is that good. It is Japanese WrestleMania, and there's some real, if you're a fan of the art form and the in-ring action, anybody watching this that's never seen Wrestle Kingdom, you need to watch a Wrestle Kingdom in January. They're every January, Tokyo Dome.
That MGF and
that Iron Man match.
That was incredible. And I think that really made the world really lock in on MGF. I think
Bryan Danielson did him such a solid.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, he was already solidified in my opinion. And even though he did a hell of a job in that match as well, I think that was the night where people said, okay, this kid's a superstar.
Well, that's what he went to the press conference saying, because it's all about he's limited moveset. He's not he's too traditional, and he's all
great night. Great night. No,
that was bell to bell, rope to rope. There was sports entertainment aspects. There was strong style. There was submission work. There was a lot of emotion. There was going the distance and then overtime and selling with the oxygen mask and all. It was, for MJF style, a work of art. Bryan Danielson did. That's why I say he did a solid, because Bryan Danielson's at that old Shawn Michaels level where he doesn't have to win. It's the performance.
Yes.
He's at that stage. Just win here and there, because it's solidified that he's literally like arguable Mount Rushmore, one of the greatest to ever do this. He doesn't have to win. He's at a point where he can just elevate others, because his performance is going to get talked about. It doesn't matter whose shoulders end up on the mat.
People and at this point, people don't care.
No, absolutely not.
It's like with Sean. When Sean
WWE really held back Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
he wasn't Bryan Danielson.
No,
at all.
He reminds me of Sean. When Sean was in the ring, did it matter if he won or lost?
No, that's why I bring that up. He's late years Shawn Michaels, where it's just he's a big match feel no matter what he's doing, and he doesn't have to win, because the performance is must watch. If you're into this sport, he's must watch.
Yeah, in-ring general. Well, I don't want to say that because that's somebody else's name, but he's an in-ring specialist.
For sure.
In-ring specialist. I got two matches myself, all right? I'm going to go back to Mania. Usos versus Owens and Zayn. So much roller coaster emotion, so many big spots in that match. A lot of different elements of styles in that match with Owens and Zayn. compared to what the Usos bring to the table. The ending of the match was beautiful with Zayn getting his moment with the 3 Halua kicks and getting the pin over Jay due to, you know, what they had going on within the bloodline. I just think to end night one for the Usos to even have that spot, for them to have that moment was awesome to see. The all white, the flowers around the neck, the boas, like it was a big night, a big feel, a big match, and then just
what a big weekend for the family, though, huh?
For everybody,
the family main evented both nights.
Yeah, everybody. It was
the greatest wrestling dynasty of all time. I'm sorry, they just are. That family runs wrestling.
Yeah, they're the creme de la creme, the elite, and with this bloodline storyline solidify that. So that was my first match up, and then my second match, Gunther versus McIntyre.
I was wondering when we were going to get into some Gunther talk at some point.
Listen, hard hitting oohs and
very
hard hitting ahs in that match. The chest on both men were prickly. They were bumped out. They were rashed out. Gunther and McIntyre, it's kind of like they're made for each other in there due to them being very powerful in men, but also very athletic. Very athletic. Big men who are that big shouldn't be moving around like that.
Gunther's not an impressive looking physique either.
He's not, but he's freakish because he's
strong
tall
in athleticism.
And he's long. He's tall and he's also, when you look at him, he looks weird.
Yeah, he's not a typical like impressive physique or anything.
But his hands look like catcher's mittens.
Yeah,
when he swings them, So
best
that
chop
was
in the business, stiffest chop in the business too.
And I know it hurts.
I wouldn't want to get chopped by him.
I wouldn't want to get chopped by him either.
No.
So Gunther and McIntyre, I thought that was a phenomenal match. So many different styles of that match as well. And I just thought it was a great display for both men, especially with McIntyre getting back on the horse. And people, no, this was before he left. So at that time, you didn't know if McIntyre was going for the world championship, what was going on with him. But then he lined up versus Gunther, playing back off that Royal Rumble spot between those two. So it was really, really good. Really, really good. All right, let's go ahead and see what comments. Anybody drop a comment? Let's see here.
I figured we'd have a few more tonight. We don't have as many as I expected.
No, not tonight. But if you're watching this on the playback, we appreciate you. Hit that thumbs up. Drop some comments and let us know what you guys think for sure.
And subscribe.
Please do. We will greatly appreciate it over here at the Sports Desk Live. All right. All right, let's have a little fun, man. Or not fun, because mine is not that fun, but it was an oh no moment for sure.
I got a few for one person. One person.
Go ahead and start us off, man. What was one of or
Kenny Omega? Just every match dropping on his head, actively choosing to land on the top of his head. I don't know how he's not paralyzed. Kenny Omega does this all the time. Will Ospreay is modeling after him. Will Ospreay does the same thing.
They're killing themselves.
Match. Like, I don't know how these guys aren't paralyzed. The big no-no in the business is directly straight down on your head, snapping your neck, and snapping your neck all the time. Nasty looking bumps.
And he gets up.
Criticized bumps too. Like, they get a lot of flack. Like, wow, these guys should not do that. That is.
And he gets up.
Yeah, and they get up and do it for an hour. It's unreal. So just pick a Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay match this year. They're so impressive. But in every match, there's at least one of these straight on their head bumps where it's like, ooh,
it's nasty.
How is he not paralyzed?
It's nasty. It's nasty. It's nasty.
That's for me. When I saw the category, I was like, oh, Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega. My God.
Yep. For me, it was Shane McMahon returning to WrestleMania and blowing his quad.
Cringe. It was so cringe.
Seeing it live, you're watching it, and I knew immediately he was hurt. And big shout out to Snoop Dogg for just
the worst
making a way out of no way.
He ran with it though. He was like, all right, we're gonna do something.
We got to do. That's a show. He's a showman at his highest level. He showed that. But when you see Shane, when you hear his music, at first I hear his music, I'm like, all right, what is this? At first I was like, what is this? You know, I didn't. You know, the fans seemed like they were happy to see him. You know, it's WrestleMania, so everybody's probably jacked. So, the energy, I'm sure you hear his music. He comes running down. And I'm like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Obviously, he about to get in there and talk some trash with the Miz. And then my guy just blows his quad. I said, oh,
Immediately.
no. I said, oh, no. What is this?
I don't think we'll see Shane McMahon back in an arena.
Oh, ever. I think that was it. I think that was it. I think
the McMahon family does not own that company anymore.
Yeah, he won't be unless you have like a, they do some flash in the pan moment or something like that down the line where you got like a lot of throwback figures in the ring. Other than that, anything like current, no, we're not going to see him. But that was my oh no moment of the year.
That's a good one too.
It was disgusting. Just
because when his music hit, I literally thought, "Oh no!"
Yeah, me too. I said, "What is he doing now?
Why?"
I'm like, "What is he doing now?"
And then when Vince went ringside for the Theory Pat McAfee match, oh God! So we go from an immediate quad blown in the worst people's elbow of all time to Vince taking the worst stunner of all time.
Wasn't it bad?
That was so awful. Get out the ring. Get out.
Stay away.
God. Pat took one of the best stunners ever.
Yeah.
Great. That was a great when the beer spit in the air and he just fell. It was great. And then you got just that awful, just falling down old man thing that Vince did. It was terrible. That's a no-no moment.
It was
Vince
terrible.
Stunner.
It was terrible, man. So yeah, a lot of old no moments at that WrestleMania for sure.
Yeah, it was a great WrestleMania, but it had its cringe moments.
Oh yeah, for sure. We got
thank
a couple
God
comments.
They're done.
For sure.
I never thought I would say thank God the McMahons are
out. Let's see. Attention span says the reason why Austin had to leave the ring. Yep, for sure was the injury to the neck. We got my guy Josh in the building. Josh, what's going on, my guy? What's good, fam? What's happening? Look at how beat up Kenny Omega is, though. He's only 40. It's that kind of bumping that will get you. Yeah, I mean, he can't have much left in the tank.
The funny thing is he doesn't have a ton of neck injuries and neck problems, though. He's got back issues and stuff, and he's diverticulitis right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's out with that, but it's surprising that it's not like severe like disc issues in his neck.
God bless him. That's all I can say. God bless him. Josh says Jade needs some work. Her former place didn't do her justice. Agreed.
That's because Tony Khan's not a booker. Tony Khan is a fan who makes matches.
Mm-hmm.
And I love AEW, but let's call it what it is here.
I agree. And she's in the right place now. That's why I think so much she's being handled so carefully in WWE. I think she's getting everything that she needs. And when they roll her out, they're going to roll her out to something big. And now, in my opinion, something big. All right, let's go ahead and trickle down. Shout out to Josh for sure for joining us tonight. He's a big-time wrestling fan, looking to do some collaborating with Josh and Ross. And in the future, in 2024, have Josh on the live stream and talk some wrestling. Some wrestling for sure. All right, man. We're dwindling down to the end of the show tonight. We have 2 more categories. Ross, who is your wrestler of the year? Wrestler of the year, bar none. I got a feeling who you're going to say.
Oh, you do? I want to see if you can guess it. Who do you think I'm going to pick?
MGF. Oh, well, shock me then.
I've praised him quite a bit here in this stream.
Okay, what we got?
I think for battling through all of the injury, including his current orbital bone issue with the eye patch, Bryan Danielson still shows up to play and play hard.
Okay.
I got to say, at the limited capacity we've gotten Bryan Danielson this year, through all the injuries, he carries his ass back to the ring and he delivers with emotion, with intensity, with technicality. Very technical style while still having that sports entertainment element to it.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson in between those ropes, I still think delivers better than anyone else without having to do the crazy, dangerous high spots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a wrestler's wrestler. He's your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler.
You know, I struggle with my 2. It was 2, but I'm going to say 1, but I'm going to tell you who the second one was after. And I struggled back and forth between these 2. So I had to go and watch over the past couple of days. And I'm going to give Roman Reigns my spot, man. Wrestler of the year.
You can't argue against it because he's
when
the biggest draw in there.
When he's in there, the spots that he has had, it felt like the Super Bowl of wrestling every time he's in there. The way he delivers with his performance, the way that he delivers with like even with the Civil War match, he's sitting on the edge of the ring trashing London, England. During the match, he's cutting a promo during one of the most intense matches of his career with his family on the line.
He's the only person I've ever seen in the business that can be so methodically slow, trash talk to the camera and the crowd for half of the match. And the match goes for 40 minutes. And you're engaged. And everything's big. They always made fun of, I'm sorry, I just got to say this one last thing. They always made fun of John Cena for the 5 moves of doom. Name more than 5 Roman Reigns moves, and you can't include punch.
It's 5. He has 5.
That's what I'm saying. The biggest attractions, storytellers that draw emotion, have a limited big move set.
The drama that he brings with them to the ring.
I'm with you. There's no argument against he's number 1.
And I'm not going to sit here and say he's Shawn Michaels out there. No, he's not.
No,
I'm not going to sit here and say he's Randy Orton, Seth Rollins. I'm not going to say none of that.
Because he doesn't have to be.
That's what I was about to say. God, you're taking the words right out of my mouth.
We're here. He doesn't have to be.
He doesn't have to do what everyone else has to. And I'm not being disrespectful. I'm really not.
They have to get excitement to get over.
The end of the Cody match at Mania. If you go back right before, and I hate the ending so bad.
I hate it so much too.
Even though I was pulling for Roman to win. I hate the ending. But anyway, leading up until Solo rolled in there, him and Cody, it was like a symphony.
Oh God.
It was it's beautiful.
Funny that we didn't even bring that up as a potential match of the year, because if you take the finish out of it,
it was up there. It was up there.
It's top 5 at minimum.
Of course.
Of
course. I think with every spot that Reigns did was
finish, no matter who you wanted to win. It was a terrible finish.
It sucked. Yeah, I watched it the other day and I said, why did they do this? I know why they did it. I know why they did it, but whatever. But listen, I got to give it to Roman Reigns. Every spot that he was in, was it big? Yes. Every spot that he was in, was the main event? Yes. But the build up, did it lead up into my decision making? Yes, it did. But when he was in there and the chips were all over the place, he always seemed to get it together. And he's my guy. He's my wrestler of the year.
When his music hits, and it's going to be this at the Royal Rumble too. You see me doing this. When his music hits, you got to acknowledge the tribal chief, man. He's that good.
Yeah, man.
It's sitting in this chair. I do it by my damn self watching.
Watching the show
because I'm engaged into the show, and it's going to be me sitting in the stands at Royal Rumble with that 1 in the air too. Acknowledge the tribal chief.
My wife walks by, she just goes. I say, look, you don't gotta understand.
Hey,
you don't gotta understand.
It's the main thing I watch.
Yeah. We got quite a few comments as we got to the wrestler, favorite wrestler section on here. Let me see, where do we go?
Who was your other though?
Oh, my other Gunther, the Ring General.
The Ring General.
Oh my God!
What a year he had.
The dominance.
What a year.
The dominance.
Who did he drop the title to?
He can't.
Everybody that was kind of credible, he beat.
He can't drop the title to nobody.
Like the only person it could be is a returning Sheamus. That's literally it. If you don't have Sheamus return and take it off him this time, he's got to just retire with the title. At this
It's got to be white hot. It's got to be somebody white hot that we'll sit back and say, oh, okay.
It's got to make sense, and there's nobody that makes sense right now.
Not right now. But yeah, the Ring General.
Yeah.
Him and Roman were my top 2 guys. All right. I'm gonna get back to this one. I think it's MJ. I'm gonna get back to you, MJ. Thank you for Ross, because I can't read these days. So we're gonna get back to. I'm gonna close the show out with your question here. I want to get to some of the stuff currently right now. So I'm gonna get back to you if you're still watching. All right, Josh. She's gonna be an attraction, but when they work with her, oh yeah, she a main event man talking about Jade. Busy got the grain, Punk or LA Knight for 2023 or just in general. I'm gonna say Punk. I'm gonna say Punk.
It's hard to say Punk, and boy, he's never looked more out of shape. Did you see the footage?
He looks flabby. He looks flabby.
Looks worse than he ever looked in AEW.
Doesn't look good.
He hasn't touched the weight or ran him 10 feet.
He's been sitting on the couch eating bonbons with AJ.
Flabby old man look.
He doesn't look great. He doesn't look great. I hope he takes these next 3 months to get right before night one. For sure.
Man, hit the gym a little. I know he goes work out. I follow him on social media. He works out. He just
his body's gonna change in about 3 weeks. Just watch.
I hope.
Yeah. Jeremiah McDonald, Omos. Shout out to
my guy,
the Nigerian Giant for sure. Attention span. He is better than his cousin. Hot take.
I think he means Roman's better than The Rock.
Jesus, don't.
I think that's what he means right there.
I can't get into that right now, but it is a great.
It's a great topic. It's its own live stream.
Ross, please. I'm about to say, Ross, please remember to help me remember when we come together.
I'm going to refrain from addressing this now because it's something that we need to spend with. This isn't a 2-minute conversation.
No. This is a heart-to-heart live stream to discuss.
He said that's exactly what I mean. Yeah, I figured.
Let's hold that one. All right. Almost the only wrestler I know
to be discussed at a later date.
Absolutely, and it will. Attention span. Roman is so good. The Roman Empire is real, for sure. Number one, baby. Roman learned what kind of presence he brings. It was very rough start for him. Yes, it was a few years ago. But when he found himself, it was smooth sailing from there.
But how right were they about him being the guy, though?
They were totally right. Even when he didn't think he was the guy himself. I heard him say that on a GQ interview on YouTube. He went back to the earlier days.
Everybody, he's got to have his Creed Aventus.
Yeah. I love that part. You know,
without
you know me and you love that for sure. Attention span, that was due to Vince force feeding him. Maybe so, for sure. Yes, sir. Can force feed a legit baby face in this era. The fans were rejected every time or accepted in their own way.
Yeah,
in their own way. That's exactly what. Stay tuned, my friend. Stay tuned. All right, so we have one last category here to discuss. We're pretty much done with the 2023 year-end review, and so many moments that we probably missed that we didn't discuss. We tried to pack it into an hour.
We didn't talk about.
Yeah, we could have did this 2, 3, 4 hours. We could have broke this up in part 1 and part 2. But just a lot of things that happened this year in the world of wrestling were tremendous. Me and Ross talked about it at the beginning of the stream. That 10 out of 10, Ross says the best year since 1999. I took it back to coming right off of 1999 in the early 2000s. Just an overall fantastic year. And with that being said, I feel, Ross feels, and probably a lot of you feel that we're going into 2024 with the doors blowing off of whatever car the world of wrestling is driving in. Ross,
2024 is about to be the peak year in the history of the business. Mark my words, on December 27th, 2023, because so many contracts are coming due, so much shakeup, a full year of no Vince McMahon in WWE. Mm-hmm. Pivotal storylines have already began. Mm-hmm. This is going to be the best road to WrestleMania from the Rumble to Mania of all time. Mm-hmm. Mark my words. Mm-hmm. There's so much can be had here. The big four are treated like the big four again. Mm-hmm. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. That is the big four for those of you that don't know. They are treated as such once again. Yep. The belts have meaning. We're at the return of the long championship reigns.
Yep.
And I don't mean just Roman Reigns. I just mean in general. Look how long Broncos had the belt. That U.S. title is going to change soon. Logan's not going to have that long.
No, he'll lose it at Mania.
But for the most part, Seth's had 7 months now. MJF's had over a year. Mm-hmm. Like, we're back in that era.
Champions are champions.
It's very much Triple H's doing. I know he's not like everything's just his final decision. It's a team. But his level of influence is very impactful because he's a traditionalist when it comes to wrestling. And you're seeing that transition in the way the booking and the storylines have been going. And all the other businesses, whether anybody wants to agree with it or not, all the other businesses feed off of what WWE does.
They're following suit.
I know that was very long-winded. I'm just so excited for this year.
It wasn't long-winded at all. I thought you would still be going.
No, I'm stopping myself because we got so much more we could talk about.
2024 is going to be the all hell, the wrestling world at its finest, social media wise, premium live events, pay-per-views, and other organizations, AEW, WWE, NXT. The storylines are going to mean something. I miss storylines that you can invest into. Like, I'm like literally pouring an emotion into it, a la the Bloodline. What Reigns and his family was able to do throughout these 2.5 years, fully invested. The WWE Hall of Fame, you're going to start seeing people in it this year who should have already been in. And due to tiffs with Vince McMahon and stuff like that, they just weren't able to be in. But I think Triple H is going to say personal, best for business. And I think it was vice versa for Vince over the last handful of years. And you saw that. No disrespect to a lot of the guys who were doing a lot of the booking and the champions that were crowned, but a lot of that stuff was, oh man, get that out of here. But now I think you're going to get a lot of returns of big names who are going to be coming home. When I say home, I'm talking about WWE. So many potential, monumental, classic moments are going to be at stake here. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it unfolds. So Lord willing, when me and Ross are sitting here at the end of 2024, this will have no choice but to be a 3-hour stream, because it's so much that we are going to have to dive into, because we have to. We can't shortchange it. We got to dig deep into what potentially is going to be happening in 2024, and it starts in a couple of days. I love the fact that Raw and SmackDown and AEW and New Japan, they're all doing their end-of-the-year wrap-ups. I love it. The fans can take a step back. They can reminisce throughout the year. Everybody can kind of reset. January 1st is on a Monday, y'all. On Monday Night Raw on January 1st. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. The bill for the Rumble, the bill for all the shows that are the new, New Year's Revolution that they're doing.
Yep.
On that following Friday for SmackDown. Don't miss it. AEW, what is MJF going to do?
Coming.
That's come. It's a lot.
I forgot the name. End of World. World's End. World's End. That's AEW's one that's coming up. World's End.
So I'm excited. Ross is excited. You guys are excited. So many potential things that can happen in 2024. Maybe I'm just going to go ahead and say, why not? Maybe the return of Sasha Banks in the WWE ring. Maybe. Is Rock versus Reigns really dead? Is it really dead?
Well, he's teasing again.
Will Cody finish the story? Will he? Will MGF dare leave a king's ransom at AEW and come home? Will he? A lot of potential things, huh?
Play Vince McMahon's music.
Oh,
no chance in hell, because he can't be MJF in WWE.
Well, Ross, remember, hell froze over just about a couple weeks ago.
But he can't be that foul-mouthed MJF that says the most vulgar, banging rats and stories about getting ahead and wrecking the car, and that they ain't doing that in WWE.
Okay.
No.
It'll be something to see.
I think he already resigned.
You think he did?
Yeah, he's just working everybody.
Okay.
I think he resigned.
Well, just a lot of different things that could potentially happen. And Ross, what's one thing that you hope happens in 2024 that your eyes can see?
So here's why I think, because I see he brought up the Reigns going to be rewarded with passing Hogan. I don't think they'll break Hogan's record. I think that's one tradition they're going to keep. In an era where it seems like they're just trying to break these long-standing records, I think they're going to let Hogan keep it. I do. I think as much as people want to think it's going to be the lull Roman Reigns wins, because that's the meme, lull Reigns wins, 1, 2, 3, and his music hits. That's just what happens for years now. I think they're going to make us think that's what's happening, and Cody somehow kicks out and some way, even if it's not totally clean and there's interference, whatever. I think Cody's going to get to do it because, and the only reason I think so is because I think Triple H secretly, because it's not public knowledge, obviously, wants to let Hogan keep that because everybody's thinking he's going to break Hogan's record. That's the obvious that everybody's talking about. You're not the only person talking about it, Terrence. I've heard that a bunch, that he's going to pass Hogan because Gunther broke Honky Tonk Man. So it's like, oh, we're just going to break these records. Why not? It's right there. He's not going to. And I think the potential to get The Rock against him is not going to have the title. I think we will get SummerSlam Roman Reigns and The Rock. Because Roman Reigns is going to go off the deep end with that insecurity he's continued to flash throughout this story. And when he feels he's losing control and the insecurities start to show, and there's always that potential twist of Heyman turning on him to be with Punk, the original Paul Heyman guy. Like, there's so much real possibility story twists for Roman Reigns right now that I think all of these options will satisfy the fans. There's so many avenues available.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
2024.
With all due respect to any other potential storyline that could take place in WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, indie scenes, with all due respect, the number one storyline is not if, but when Roman's shoulders get pinned 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, a changing of the title will take place at some point to Cody Rhodes. I don't think there is another individual in WWE or outside of WWE who could potentially arrive in WWE that deserves a moment like that than Cody. He deserves it. And I'm not going to be
believable.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be mad because I'm a Reigns guy. I'm the guy that's going to sit here and tell you, I hope he never loses the title.
I get it.
I'm the guy that's going to sit here, and I said around a bunch of guys last year for WrestleMania, and I told them, shut the hell up. Cody ain't winning nothing tonight.
I knew he wasn't going to because I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. Just the finish was not what I thought it would be.
And I gloated disgustingly, even though the finish was terrible with the spike. So the number one storyline in all of wrestling is that when, not if, but when, because I think Reigns loses it this year. And I saw something on Instagram, so I can't take credit for this comment, but it makes sense. It has to crumble from within for the structure to fall on Reigns. And that's what's going to happen.
That's what I meant by the interference.
That's what's going to happen. So everything's already started to crumble with inside, obviously, with the bloodline.
Which goes with that psychological breakdown I was speaking of, that his character has shown flashes.
He has shown
eventually this is what's going to happen for him. This is the crumbling of the empire.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's going to be very interesting how they play it off. I am rooting for Cody to have his moment. My father is one of the biggest Dusty Rhodes fans that you could think of.
Baby.
He loves him. He loves Ric Flair, Terry Funk, Dusty Rhodes. Those are his guys. And he's Hogan guy. He's a Hogan guy. But he loves those guys. And for him to be paying attention to, he don't call him Cody. He says, did Dusty's kid win it yet? Did Dusty's kid win it yet?
That's funny.
That's an extension of an investment into the storyline for what Cody Rhodes and the Rhodes
I already
family.
told you the end of WrestleMania. I told you that on one of these streams already.
You did.
Do you remember what it was? My ideal scenario for if Cody does actually win.
I don't remember verbatim, but you did say Cody.
So obviously it's American Dream. Music's going to hit. You're going to see Dusty on the screen. And then the shock surprise is Gold Dust music hits.
And he comes out and greets him.
Celebrate for the family celebration, the big cry, because Cody's a big cry baby.
And that's going to be real.
I really believe, and I've noticed the dirt sheets, as they're called, are starting to get hip to my thought process on the booking here. That if Cody does win, because Dustin Rhodes' contract's about to end in AEW, that he's going to go do a one-off to celebrate with Cody, because that's the only time it would even make sense for him to show up in WWE ever again, is for that, because the whole thing's about the family legacy. It's not just about Cody winning. It's about the
Rhodes legacy. It's the Rhodes legacy.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So much to look forward to. So many potential surprises. We're kicking off the top of the year in January with a lot of great things that we feel potentially that our eyes are going to see. So many returns, surprises, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, AEW, and all their storylines, just everything. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. Who's Jade Cargill going to get her hands on? Like just so many things that's going to take place. What do you do with Jey Uso? Like Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania. My God, I can't wait to see it.
They got to start ramping that story up.
It's going to start Monday. Watch what I tell you. It's going to start Monday. And the reason why I was wondering why Jay wasn't involved with the Intercontinental Championship, why hasn't he been involved with anything like with his 2 feet? Why? Well, they're holding him over because the potential mega storyline is his brother. And when we saw them on SmackDown about a month ago, when him and Cody were champs, they were leaving the arena and Reigns and Jimmy came out in Solo. You saw it right there. They were nose to nose, face to face, kind of letting us know, hey guys, it's happening.
Here's Mania matches right here because Cody and Roman got face to face, Jimmy and Jay got face to face.
There you go. There you go. So I think Monday it starts.
Just like we haven't got our Becky and Rhea payoff that they teased. We haven't got that payoff yet.
I think that's the match that we're going to get at.
It's the only one that makes sense for Rhea because you've been building her with nothing. Just dominant. Mommy's dominant, runs the division. And her and Becky have not been crossing paths. And Becky has no story for Mania.
She has nothing. Now. She has nothing. Sense. And here comes the man. So it's a perfect setup, you know. And I think Rhea's going to start.
They would tear the house down because Rhea. That's a big match she can have. The only other big match she can have that she hasn't had is that. I mean, she needs to have Bianca still, but to have the caliber of what she had with Charlotte, she needs Becky.
Yeah. Becky's the biggest star in the last 5 years in wrestling. Top 10 pound for pound, one of the biggest
my
stars.
Favorite ever.
Yeah, she's
a Becky Lynch guy.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
My favorite ever.
She's amazing.
She's one of my 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. I love.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, Becky. Speaking of, we're supposed to touch on that. Top 5.
Great call. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Current.
So we are going to wrap it up here. Thank you to everyone who watched tonight. If you're watching on the playback, thank you for stopping by. Hit that thumbs up. We love this stuff. We love this stuff, and it's always a great time. We could talk about this for hours and hours. We're going to end the show tonight with MJ. Top 5 wrestlers of all time. Raw, start us off.
All time?
I'm guessing. I don't know. What is it? I don't know what he's asking.
I feel like he's asking currently. That's what I feel.
Let's just do that. Maybe if he's still here.
Current.
Let's do current. Man, let me think then. Top 5 current. Okay.
Well, I mean, I can go with Becky at number 5 right away because Becky, she's current and all time for me.
Okay.
I'm going to go Becky. I'm going to go Cody.
Okay.
I'm going MJF, Bryan Danielson, Roman Reigns.
That was say your 5 again? That was fast.
Becky Lynch, Cody Rhodes, Bryan Danielson, Roman Reigns, and now I'm forgetting who the other one was because I'm saying it again.
Jeez.
Shit.
Did you say Cody?
Yeah, I said Cody. Becky, Cody, Roman, Bryan Danielson, MJF. Yeah. So MJF.
Okay. Off the top of my head, Reigns, Rhea.
It's fair.
MJF. Oh my God. Oh, Gunther. Jesus Christ. Gunther.
That's fair. Sure. That's fair. If we're doing a top 10, I have him in there.
For sure. Reigns, Rhea, MJF, Gunther. Top 5. Damn it.
It's tough, right? Because I want to say Mercedes Moné because I love Mercedes Moné. You know?
Man, I'm stuck at number 5, man. It's so much talent out there. But for a top 5 spot, you know what? I'm going to show some love to this guy who I'm really rooting for, Damian Priest. I'm going to go Damian Priest.
Pick.
I'm going to go Damian Priest because I'm rooting for his moment, man. This guy has put in so much work in 2023. I was going to say Seth Rollins, but I thought that would have been safe for me at 5, and he deserves a spot because Rollins has had a great year. But I'm going to go Damian Priest. I'm going to go Damian Priest around in my top 5. So Reigns, Rhea, MJF, Gunther, and Damian Priest.
I think we're still going to see Punk and Rollins without the belt because Damian Priest is taking that belt.
Do you think he's going to take it before Mania?
The contract expires at Mania.
Oh my God!
He's got to.
Do you think he does it
the last night?
Do you think he does it at Mania? Or would that be too predictable?
That's what could really happen because the poetic justice is the run-in after the match, like Rollins did. At the end of the match when he's beaten down and here comes Judgment Day music hits.
Because you know him and Punk is going to be an all-out war.
Because they're going to be dog-ass tired.
They're going to beat the hell out of each other.
And that's going to be the finish. And that's going to be the humiliation for Rollins because he's going to immediately get beat for his title, but the other match is still going on. And the crowd's going to be going nuts for Punk to throw him up in the GTS and boom, and then 2 pins. He's going to take 2 pins at Mania.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because their match isn't going to be over when Damian's going to run down. He's going to see his moment. Because it doesn't become a triple threat unless he says that's how he wants it to cash in. I think they book it to where the other match is still going on and the crowd's going to go ape shit for Punk to here's your moment. Get him, you know?
Yeah.
Watch.
Okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, Damian Priest. Guy's putting a lot of work. Great year for him. Great year for the Judgment Day. And I think he deserves
Priest. I mean, there was an argument for Priest to be breakout star of the year, too.
Yeah, right along with
Uso got over better.
Yeah,
but from a performance standpoint, Damian Priest has done.
He did his thing. He did his thing this year for sure. I'm really glad because at first I wasn't sure. He came with the whole Bow and Arrow thing, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
You could see the potential when he was U.S. champ 2 years ago. And everything. Like you could see the potential there.
Yeah, but he's really, and he has some of the best in-ring gear too. Look at his in-ring gear. He got some really nice stuff.
Shout outs to the black and purple Jordan 12s. You know,
yeah, I just want to mention that. Rhea too. Rhea, she looks good out there.
Yep.
In her ring gear. So anyway, so that's our episode tonight, y'all. Wrapping up 2023. In the wrestling world, me and Ross are not going anywhere. All right, we're going to be discussing wrestling at least once a month. We hope at least once a month we can come together and do a live stream discussing many topics. You guys, me and Ross have so much that we want to discuss: nostalgia, current. Fantasy.
I can talk wrestling all day, every day. I can talk wrestling just like I can talk fragrance all day.
Yeah. So we are going to be doing that. We are going to be jumping on here on the Sports Test Live, and we're going to be having these conversations for sure. So we're glad that you guys decided to stop by tonight. If you're watching on the replay, thank you guys. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already. Be on the lookout for more consistent content from the Sports Test Live in 2024. We got you covered. NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, UFC, MMA. The world of wrestling, so many different things that we're going to be discussing in the sports world. And we just hope you guys rock with us in 2024. And we're looking forward to it for sure. Ross, any final things before we get out of here, my guy?
I just leave you all with a happy new year.
Yes.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Mommy's always on top.
Mommy.
And acknowledge your tribal chief.
Big oos.
You know?
Big oos.
Big
for
oos.
Sure. Happy New Year as well. You guys enjoy. Be safe out there. Bring it in safely. You guys have a good time. We'll see you guys back in 2024 as we kick off the road to WrestleMania and any other surprises that the world of wrestling has in store. We look forward to chopping it up with you guys then. So till next time, be cool. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. Yeet.
Yeet.